one of the challenges that I see often in entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs in this stage of the game is they refer to their business as, a $1 million business, or they refer to their business as what the revenue is. But I'm here to remind you, revenue means nothing. Revenue is a data point in your business growth. It is definitely something that's needed in order to be successful. But a $1 million business with a $900,000 profit versus a $10 million business in revenue with no profit, which one is more successful?
Welcome to the Women Choosing Growth podcast, where we bring you practical advice and guidance on how to grow your business and achieve success in your entrepreneurial journey. We feature inspiring stories of success, challenges of growth, and lessons learned from women entrepreneurs, industry experts, and thought leaders who have been through the growing pains inevitable as an entrepreneur. Whether you are just getting started or are looking to scale up your business, our show is designed to provide you with the tools, resources, and community you need to grow your business. Join your host, Tina, a lifelong entrepreneur and business growth advisor, as we explore topics such as marketing, sales, finance, leadership, and personal growth, all tailored specifically to the needs of women entrepreneurs. So if you're ready to grow your business faster and smarter, and learn from the experiences of those who have traveled the growth path before you, then this podcast is for you. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get started.
Hello there. I am Tina Sue, and I am the host of Women Choosing Growth and a growth advisor for first-time women entrepreneurs. And today, I really want to dive into the 3 millionaire milestone stages of business growth, what each are, and actually how to be more strategic for you to be able to get to each milestone without all the trial and error that most of us go through as a first-time entrepreneur. So first of all, we know that we all have started a business and wanted to say that I have $1 million business. But what does that really mean? And that is where the 3 different millionaire milestones take place. So the very first one is pretty obvious. It is the first million in revenue. And that is that first part of our journey as an entrepreneur. It's really about getting as many sales as we can, because that is what we're focused on, is the getting the more revenue in the door. The challenges is what usually isn't thought about or isn't very strategic during this stage is that owners are usually not looking at the margins. They're not looking at the ideal customer. We're taking new sales and new customers based on just, hey, it's another customer I can sell to. And I'm guilty of that as well in my first business. But I can tell you that the wrong customer actually costs you money. So it's more strategic and smarter to be really clear on this in this first stage of your journey of being really identify who your ideal client is and being very strategic on your pricing as well. Not that that can't change, not that you're going to know everything, especially as a first-time entrepreneur, but being very mindful that not just all new sales are good sales is the part that a lot of entrepreneurs in this stage overlook. Some strategic shifts of if you're in this stage of like how you can get to that millionaire in revenue mark sooner and more strategic is really defining that who is your ideal client and say no to those who don't fit that avatar. Be really clear on the services that you provide. Have repeatable services. This is the stage of the game where you're figuring a lot of things out, but you are in pursuit of making it repeatable. And we'll get into that in the second stage of millionaire mindset. But really, this part is about having strategic sales to the right customer at the right price. Be focused on that margin. That is one of the things overlooked. Put your CEO hat on and not the operator of whatever service or product that you provide. So your goal isn't just to sell and make more revenue. It is to be very strategic and build a sales engine that can be used to deliver that product or service. So that is the stage of 0 in revenue in your very, very first sale, all the way to $1 million in revenue. And one of the challenges that I see often in entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs in this stage of the game is they refer to their business as, $1 million business, or they refer to their business as what the revenue is. But I'm here to remind you, revenue means nothing. Revenue is a data point in your business growth. It is definitely something that's needed in order to be successful. But a $1 million business with a $900,000 profit versus a $10 million business in revenue with no profit, which one is more successful? It doesn't have to do with revenue. It has to do with profitability, which is not the second stage of the journey. The second stage is the one that is most overlooked, and that is hitting $1 million in enterprise value. 9 times out of 10, first-time entrepreneurs are not even thinking about this, maybe not even aware of what that means. Enterprise value is what someone is willing to pay for your business. And you might say, I'm in the early growth stage. I'm not thinking about exiting, but you should have your exit mindset from the day you start your business. And the reason for that is because we don't always control our exit. But when we're thinking about building our business with that exit in mind and thinking, I'm going to put all my blood, sweat, and tears, I'm going to put some investment into this, my own money, all of the things. I'm going to maybe not spend as much family time as I would like all the challenges and the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the business. Like, I want to be paid for that someday. And that might be your death. It might be something positive that someone comes along the journey in 2 years and gives you an offer for your business. So that's why we think about an exit not as, oh, I'm going to sell this someday, but I want to build something that's worth something. And there's very different strategies on how you build your business when you're thinking about someone else buying it. And this is the part that is so often overlooked. And then when that great opportunity does come, you're leaving money on the table because you just really weren't focused on it. So, millionaire milestone number 2 is enterprise value. And this usually comes before you hit the profitability, because the way that entrepreneur value or enterprise value is calculated is typically based off of the profits of your business. And there's a range, and depending on your industry, it's usually a multiple of your profitability. So the more solid and safe, or the opposite of that is usually you'll get a less multiple of your profitability, the more risky your business is. What makes your business risky is you. The number one reason that people leave money on the table when they do go to sell is because the owner is too involved. Think about the mindset of a buyer coming to buy your business. If you can go on vacation for 3 weeks or 3 months and the company doesn't feel a blip, the revenue stays, the operations happen, products and services get out the door, that's going to have the buyer pay a higher premium for your business than if you're the one who brings in all the customers. You're the one who is the face of the company. You're the one who has all the relationships with the buyers or potential buyers. I'm talking about your customers, not the buyer of the business. So the more you are not part of the business actually makes your business more valuable. Having a leadership team and systems in place is what really makes your business valuable, because it's less risk for that buyer who wants to buy your business. So this second stage of the game is, although you should be thinking about enterprise value and being strategic about that from the beginning, that's the second milestone, is when your profitability times a multiple in your industry. Usually they're somewhere between 1.5 to 5, depending on, again, the risk and the industry and what products or services you provide. But that means that you could have a couple $100,000 profitability, but your business is worth $1 million. That's when you can say, I have $1 million business. The revenue is just revenue. But when you have an asset that you could actually sell for $1 million or more, that is where the success starts to come into play. So really being focused on leaderships, systems, repeatability, and reducing your dependency. The business should not be depending on you. So that is the enterprise value millionaire milestone. The third milestone, you guessed it, is profitability. This is when your company is dialed in, and some companies never make it to this point, but it is the next pillar of success is when your business can profit $1 million. And profit gives you choices. Profit is where you now have even more freedom. You may have already hit your lifestyle, the amount of money you want to take home in a paycheck to support your lifestyle. But what can you do with more profit? You can pay your people more. You can give back to your community. You can give to charity. You just have more choices when your business is more profitable. And guess what? When we go back to that enterprise value, the more profit you have, the more your business is now worth, which is the real value of your business. So, some of the strategic mind focuses in this stage of your game of your business growth is really about what are those 3 to 5 KPIs that just the slightest little change can bring more profitability to the bottom line where it doesn't cost you more. So, that's maybe changing margins up a little bit. Pricing would definitely do that, bring more profitability without having to hire more people, being more efficient in the output of your product or service. Financials come into play hugely here, being really super clear on what the forecast looks like, being really dialed into your finances. When do we hit 1.1 million in profitability, and what does that take? So that's those scenario planning. Again, that can be throughout your whole journey, but this stage, after your business is already worth a million to someone else who would want to buy it, this is where you just keep dialing up that profitability until you hit a million and more and more and more. Let's summarize the 3 millionaire milestones. The first one is hitting a million in revenue. That first journey is all about being really strategic and mindful of who we're serving and what we're pricing, and making sure that we aren't costing us actually more money in that journey towards that first million. The second millionaire milestone is enterprise value of a million, and that is profitability times the multiple in your industry, usually somewhere between 2 and 5. It depends on the industry. But that's where you get really clear on reducing owner dependency so you actually have a business that someone wants to buy. And number 3 is getting that profitability, that bottom line, the cash, which you can then change the world beyond your own lifestyle. And that is getting really strategic on those couple KPIs that you can make a shift and automatically make more profitability in the company to serve more people, to help more people. So those 3 millionaire milestones are the journey of a first-time entrepreneurs is usually more difficult for us. And so what I've done, because I feel like I did that the hard way my first time around. I've bought and sold and scaled many, many businesses. I've worked with other business owners of just about every industry to help them build and scale strategically. And so if you're like, this is great information, but I don't know how to start, I don't know what I need to be doing in order to hit whichever stage you're in, and then be really strategic about the next stage, we have a playbook on Tina Sue. It's what we do. We help women just like you so that you don't have to figure it out on your own. Everything from what is your true vision? What is it that ultimately you want your business to look like? Every step of the way, from zero in revenue to really setting up those leadership systems, to making sure that you are not the bottleneck, to the technology systems, and everything along the way with tools, resources, guidance. It's a self-paced course that you can have for a lifetime and continue to use the resources in there as your company continues to grow. As your leadership team continues to grow with you, you can share those same resources and work side by side with your team to help make some of those more strategic decisions. So I encourage you to check it out on tina-sue.com, and let's be really strategic today so that you don't have to figure this out the hard way like a lot of first-time entrepreneur women do. We're here to help you. That's what we love to do. So let us help you be more strategic in your journey to the 1, 2, and 3 millionaire milestones. Let's do this together. tina-sue.com. Take care and happy growing.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. The Women Choosing Growth Show is not just another podcast. It's a tribe of women helping each other grow. So please, share this podcast with all the women entrepreneurs that you would love to see succeed. If you'd like to know more about customized business advising through Cultivate Advisors, download business tools, or sign up for upcoming events, visit www.WomenChoosingGrowth.com. Once again, that's www.WomenChoosingGrowth.com. Remember, we are in this together. See you on the next one.